We're now going to learn how to run the bow across the string. There are 6 rules that you need to know. The first rule is that we always begin, I say always, there are some exceptions, but unless informed otherwise, we always begin by pulling the bow. Almost every sequence that we play, every tana, every reed, every tune, every sabd, bhajan, whatever it is that you are playing, always begins with a pull. But there are some exceptions, and you will be told about those exceptions as and when you get to them. Rule number 2 is what I call the 1-inch rule. First of all, we keep the bow within 1 inch of the bridge. So there is about 1 inch there between where I have positioned the bow and the bridge. We try not to transcend that 1 inch area and not get too close to the bridge. As you get better and better, you will be able to go closer to the bridge, but for now we don't go near the bridge because we want to get used to not getting to the bridge. The problem you will have is if you get too close to the bridge is you might accidentally come off over the bridge, and that will embellish the sound. So it's better for now, as you're learning, not to go within 1 inch of the bridge. Then we extend the 1 inch rule to the bowing. We don't bow past this 1 inch marker. If you really must, put a little bit of string on here to help you know where that is. So we don't go too far past this 1 inch here towards the tail. And similarly, we don't go too far past this 1 inch marker, and again put a string there if you need it, towards the grip. This is why, if you listen to this sound very carefully, watch what happens if I go too far. And again. You hear that little clunking sound? That is my bow, the hair, falling off the string because I've gone too far. Listen to this on the other side if we go too far that way. That numbing sound is my grip hitting the string. As you get better at bowing, you will be able to become so good at it that you'll be able to literally go within millimeters of the end of the bow by the tail end. And the same here, you'll be able to go to within a millimeter towards the grip. Your muscle memory will tell you exactly where you are. You won't even need to look at the bow. Your muscle memory will just tell you that this is where you are, and you'll be able to control it so perfectly that you'll get to each end of the bow and you'll transcend that 1 inch rule, which isn't a problem. But for now, while you are learning, please stick to this 1 inch rule. Tie a string there, tie a string there, just to help you and stick to that. That was rule number 2, the 1-inch rule in relation to the bridge and the bow. Rule number 3 relates to the vertical axis. We do not want to be moving the bow up and down as we bow. I'm exaggerating the movement here, but it must not move up this string. Okay, I'll show you what I mean by that. Just watch this carefully. You heard a screeching sound there. I will do it again just so that you can see, you can get the point. That screeching sound was my bow moving up the string. So, rule number 3, no vertical movement up and down the string. Rule number 4 relates to the horizontal movement. We move in a straight line. What I sometimes get students to do is to get to the end here, ensuring that the bow is straight, and put something on the other end where the tail is as a marker, a height marker, and then again get to this end and put something on this end as a height marker, just to help bow in a straight line end to end. That's what you should be doing, and this is what you shouldn't be doing. So you shouldn't be bowing up in a diagonal, slightly exaggerated, and shouldn't be bowing down. And again, I've exaggerated that. You can see where my hand is ending up. It's probably ending up off the screen. And in this case, it's ending up very high. This is about where we want to be. And at the other end, my bow is ending maybe again off the screen, but it's ending too far down at the other end. And this is the other case where the tail of the bow is too high. This is where, roughly where we want to be. So rule number 4 is about this horizontal line. Rule number 5 relates to what I call the axis around the shaft of the bow. So remember, this is the shaft. What you do not want happening is that while you are bowing, the bow moves around. You won't be able to see it very well in the camera, but my hand is, if you look carefully at the hand, very exaggerated movement just to prove the point, make the point rather. You can see that my hand is moving, so the bow is moving around the shaft axis. It's this circular movement. Keep it in a straight line and it must not move. The hair on your bow, all the hair must be touching the string. It mustn't be like this, where only this end of the hair is touching, and it mustn't be like this, where only this end of the hair is now touching. Has to all touch the string. All the hair has to touch the string as you're playing. And finally, Rule number 6, we're nearly there, lots of rules to learn. There must be no circular movement. Again, I'm exaggerating this movement. But what you do not want what you do not want happening is this. What's happened there is that I've moved my bow so far along that it's now sliding across the body of the saj. The bow must not touch the body of the instrument. And similarly, as you're playing it, you mustn't have this happening. You heard a second string there. Let me do that again. And it's because I was bowing like this. I brought the bow around like this, and as I brought it around, it hit the middle string. You can't have that happening either. So, a number of rules there for you to remember as you're bowing. With the first 2 bowing lessons, I want you to just be conscious of those rules. There will be a lot to remember. Kind of trying to focus on keeping the bow steady as you bow, and then, oh, it's gone too far down. Getting too close to the bridge. I'm not in a straight line. These are all things that you just have to start getting conscious of as you start playing.